how can just a few slight alterations to a chord really warm up the progression and make it something special? That's what we're going to look at today in Dr. Doug's Daily Tips for how to write great LDS church music. We're using hymn 127, Does the Journey Seem Long?, to depict this special technique. Now, this is another hymn that's not used very often. I don't think I've ever heard it in sacrament meeting, but there's a great little technique I want to show you here. It happens right in this spot, and it can really turn your music into something very warm, and it's a super simple little trick. It has to do with substitutions. Okay, let me play up until that little cadence on the words "thorns on the way," just to get the tune in your mind, and then I'll go a little deeper into the description. Okay, so we're pausing there on the 5 chord. This is what we call a half cadence. When you pause on the 5, it's kind of like a comma in the middle of a sentence. You've done half of your phrase, and then you need to do the rest. Well, here's this cool moment of harmony. Right here, we turn to the minor 6 chord, which in this key is C minor. Okay, but then coming out of C minor, the downbeat on the word thorns, we have F, A flat, C, another A flat, which is the 2 chord, a minor 2 chord in first inversion. So that's an F minor chord with A flat in the bass. But then this cool thing happens. The bass note stays, the alto stays, while the other voices move up to then prepare for the pause on the 5 chord. And when that happens, this middle chord is what we call a passing chord. It's not really a full chord. The 2 chord is on its way to the 4 chord, which is actually a little bit backwards. The 4 chord usually goes to the 2 chord. The 2 chord usually goes directly to the 5 chord. However, since the 2 chord is in first inversion, it changes its tendency a little bit. When the 2 chord is in first inversion, it acts more like a 4 chord, which is why it moves so easily to the 4 chord. By easily, I mean look at the alto and the bass. They don't move. They stay on their notes, and then the parallel motion between soprano and tenor, these parallel thirds, get us from the 2/6, the F minor, minor, passing, major, 5. That is a beautiful, simple little technique, but it happens very naturally. It steps, the 6th chord steps right out of itself through this direct motion with the tenor and the soprano. This is just stepping up the scale. The tenor, D, A flat, F, G, A flat, while the soprano, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. It's a beautiful little use of static motion. See how the bass and the alto stay the same? Okay, and altos often complain about how boring their part is, but it's crucial when their part is boring because it's holding the fort for everybody else. Right? It's like the stake in the tent. It's holding the tent together. We need those foundational stakes while the other parts are moving. Okay, so the 6th chord, what's fun about this is the 6th chord being minor, its natural position to go next is the minor 2 chord. But because it goes to that minor 2 chord in first inversion with the A flat in the bass instead of the F in the bass, it gives it the feel, that it could go either way. It could go towards the 4, or it could go directly to the 5, because the 2 chord and the 4 chord are substitutes for each other. Let me demonstrate that. The 2 chord in this key is F, A flat, C, while the 4 chord is A flat, C, E flat. Because those are the same notes, they share these 2 same notes. That makes, oh, my face is in the way, sorry. F, A flat, C, E flat. Those shared notes make these chords cousins. They're substitutes for each other. So toggling back and forth and even passing between cousin chords like this, it's a wonderful and very simple way to juice up your harmony a bit, especially right before a cadence on 5. Okay, so just listen one more time to that little progression and hear how lovely that is. But it's super simple, very simple. Same 3 bass notes in a row, same 3 bass notes again, and the altos have the same 6 notes in a row, but again, those are like the holding the fort foundational notes that allow the soprano and the tenor to do that smooth motion, which creates the motion from the 2-6 to the 4, those 2 substitute chords. So the principle here is, when you're preparing for a cadence, you don't just have to use the 2 going to the 5. You don't just have to use the 4 going to the 5. You can swap places with them because they are cousins, because of those common notes, F, A flat, C, E flat. So you can have a little switcheroo between the F, A flat, C and the A flat, C, F, the 2 chord and the 4 chord, to make that cadence feel a little bit more special. Alrighty, that is your gem for today. If you enjoyed that, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified each time I post a video. And if you'd like some more free tips, please head over to latterdaymusiversity.com to get some more. We'll see you next time.